Welcome to The Explainer. All right, let's get into it. You're here because you already know your way around a Python script. But today, we're going to move beyond just the basics. We're going to look at the habits and the principles that really define professional-grade code and really refine your skills.
See, this isn't about learning syntax that you probably already have down pat. This review is for programmers just like you who want to close that gap between just, making code work and actually designing it to be efficient, readable, and totally robust. It's all about the difference between good code and great code. So here's the plan. We're going to follow a program's blueprint. We'll start with the raw materials, the data itself. Then we'll look at the tools we use to shape it, the components we build, and finally, how we assemble the whole thing into an intelligent, professional structure.
Okay, let's dive right in. Every single program, no matter how complicated it seems, is really just about manipulating data at its core. So it makes sense to start with a quick review of those fundamental raw materials.
You know these, of course. They're kind of like the bricks, the glass, and the steel of our code. We've got integers for whole numbers, floats for decimals, strings for text, and booleans for true or false. The real pro move here is always choosing the right one for the job, because trust me, each one behaves very differently.
Okay, this is a perfect example of a professional distinction. To our eyes, 45 and 45.0 are the same number, right? But to Python, they are worlds apart. One's an int, the other is a float. Getting this wrong can quietly sneak bugs into your calculations, so being super precise here is absolutely critical.
And we can't forget about none type. Its single value none isn't just nothingness. It's a very deliberate way to represent the absence of a value. Think of it as a sign that says, hey, something should be here, but it isn't right now. It's a really powerful concept.
All right, so now that we have our data, our raw materials, let's move on to our tools. Operators are what lets you actually do things with that data. Combine it, compare it, and transform it. Just like back in math class, Python follows a super strict order of operations. So take a look at this expression. Pause for a second and try to trace the logic. What do you think the final answer is going to be?
So here's how Python breaks it down. It starts with the exponent, that 2 to the power of 3. Then it handles the multiplication and division. And only at the very end does it perform the addition. So the final result is 10. Getting this order down cold is so important for preventing those subtle logical errors.
All right, get ready for a classic problem that trips up even experienced developers. Logically, this seems like it should be true, no question. But think for a second about how computers actually have to represent decimal numbers deep down inside.
And surprise, the answer is false. This happens because computers can't store most decimal fractions perfectly in binary. They're stored as super close approximations, which leads to these tiny, almost invisible precision errors that just throw off direct comparisons.
So the crucial point is this. Take this warning to heart. Using a double equal sign to compare two floating point numbers is a recipe for disaster. It can lead to some of the most frustrating, pull-your-hair-out bugs you'll ever have to find.
So what do you do instead? Well, professional code uses a helper function. This function doesn't ask, are these two floats identical? Instead, it asks, are these two floats close enough to be considered equal? This is the safe, robust way to handle it.
Now that we can manipulate data, let's talk about packaging that logic. Functions are how we create reusable components. They let us turn a whole series of steps into a single, clean command that we can call whenever we want.
This quote says it all, really. The transition from just writing simple scripts to building complex applications, it's all marked by your ability to master functions. They are the absolute cornerstone of organized, maintainable, and professional code.
A common mistake when you're leveling up your skills is confusing print with return. Think of it this way. Print just displays a value on the screen. It's like shouting something out. But return is what actually sends a value back from the function, so it can be used somewhere else. If your function doesn't have a return, it just implicitly returns none.
So think of this as a checklist for every great function. Does it have a clear name? Does it do one specific job? And, this is a big one, can you write a separate test for it? That last point is key because professional code is always testable code.
All right, we have our building blocks and our reusable blueprints. Now it's time to add some intelligence. Conditionals are what allow our code to start making decisions and reacting to all sorts of different situations. Just look at the difference here. The bad practice on the left forces Python to check every single if statement no matter what. But the good practice using if, elif, else, the moment it finds a true condition, it stops evaluating. It's not just cleaner to read, it's a whole lot more efficient.
And this idea of efficiency extends to logical operators through something called short-circuiting. With an AND expression, if the first part is false, Python doesn't even bother to look at the second part. This isn't just faster, it's a really powerful way to prevent errors, like maybe trying to divide by 0 in a condition that never even gets checked.
So let's bring it all together. We've gone from the simplest building blocks of data all the way up to creating these intelligent decision-making structures. This is really the blueprint of professional programming.
This is the progression, right? You start with your raw materials, your data, you shape it with your tools, the operators, you package all that logic into reusable components, your functions, and then you orchestrate those components with intelligence, your conditionals. This is the fundamental pattern for writing clear, robust code. And as you build, you are going to run into bugs. It's just inevitable. The key is understanding what kind you're facing. A syntax error is just a typo. A runtime error is a crash. But a logical error, oh man, that's the tough one. The code runs perfectly fine, it just does the wrong thing. Our professional practices are all designed to minimize these.
So that's your takeaway for today. Don't just absorb this information, apply it. Think about a piece of code you're working on right now. Where is there a repeated block of logic? How could you pull that out into a well-named, well-tested helper function and make your entire project better? That right there, that's the first step toward writing truly professional code.